kick this off. So, welcome to Tattoo Tabletop. My name is James. I didn't have a video today, but I am at home and I got the day off, so I decided that I should probably start basing my Drukhari. Well, I mean, I got the basing done, but I need to, paint in the stuff. So in this case, I've decided to go with more of an orange base because I thought it would be a fun, nice little way to make the army pop a little bit. But that involves a lot of contrast and a lot of time. So I figured, while I got the time, while I got the day, let me just adjust this all over. Yeah, figured I'd just get basing. So in the interim, if anyone pops in, go ahead and ask me anything while we're at it. But till such time, I'm gonna get started on all this. And I started with what is it? Nuclear Sunrise by Army Painter. And that one's good, but it's still a little too thin. Like, that was my biggest issue, is like it did a nice jump in the orange value, but like realistically didn't do anything else. So we're just gonna go with Griffhound. We're just gonna do this for giggles anyway, because I got nothing else to do. So if anyone pops in, we'll answer some questions. Actually, you know what? Let's get Lady Malice out of the way right off the bat. I probably actually should have used some medium here instead of just flat out water. That's fine. Not too terribly concerned with it. Probably not a great idea to do this when I'm extremely caffeinated as well. Actually, I forgot that this is contrast. So because this is contrast, if I'm making mistakes, I kind of need to deal with it immediately. There we go. Hey there. How's it going? Thanks for popping in. Go ahead. I'm just basing my Drukhari here. AMA. Ask me anything. Favorite paint, favorite model, project I'm working on, well, other than obviously my Drukhari straight up here, but fly away. Let's go. What do we got? Or fire away, whatever the one is. There we go. And here, just to show you, since you just jumped in, here's what I'm working in. I'm just doing this orange basing on my Drukhari, my blue Drukhari. I know it's a little glary here, but because I always got this nice dark blue teal armor, so I'm just working on orange base there. And I got to get it across 30 Capelites, 10 Witches, 10 Mandrakes, 10 Racks, 10 Incubi, and then 3 Ravagers and 3 Raiders. So we're just painting away. But feel free to throw any questions in chat there, and I'll answer them as they come along. It's cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, this actually delayed my army a little bit, just because I wanted to get the right color on the bases, and I couldn't find the right one. And also, I feel like there's a lot of times where you look at a Drukhari army, and it's got like a really cool color scheme and everything, and then it's just like the base is like a hot pink or like a dark purple, and then it's got those specific tufts and everything. So yeah, it's pretty good. So I just wanted to do something a little different. And it actually kind of reminds me of the 9th edition Codex cover, because that's kind of got like an orangish tint to it. And I really did like that cover with like the witch bounding forward and like all the background. I love the full releases of those Codex arts. Hi, I'm gonna like. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And of course, if you enjoy this and you want to check out some of my other content, just click on the channel. I appreciate it. Just gonna work on these guys though, and the nice part is because it's a darker orange color, it should, it won't, if I accidentally get a little bit on the feet, it shouldn't do much to like tint it or anything like that. But yeah, we got lots lots to do, lots to base. So figured I'd go. Hi. Hey, F Night Kid. How's it going? Stitch, we appreciate that as well. How's everybody's Friday going? Also, feel free to sound off in chat where you're hopping in from. I always love to know where people are finding my channel. I know I've got a few people over the pond, and I always love to talk. Massively appreciate it. We'll probably do this for about a solid hour or two. And at some point, of course, I'll also get a camera set up so that I can actually, show more of this off, have something facing towards it, something like that, because I don't think anybody wants to look straight at me for hours on end, or at least I wouldn't. So just work my way through all these guys. And actually, here, if you want to get an idea of what we're dealing with here, let me show you guys a little bit here. So we got to get through all these, got to get through those, and I want to get through all those. So here's hoping that we can knock some of this out today. Oh, I just realized that box is bloody crooked. There we go. And I'll probably at some point have to do like a dry brush over this too, just so it like adds a bit more dynamic appearance to it. Because some contrast works really well in terms of like settling into the recesses and creating depth and, a nice effect on it. And then other times it's just like specifically the pure pigments, like your ball red, magma droth flame, like they're great paints, don't get me wrong, love them. But when they're that pure pigment, it does have a tendency to not really create the contrast that it's like looking to do unless you like did the zenithal or like did the specific highlights the way you needed to and stuff like that. So I think it gets a little dicey, a little quickly. There we go. Some of these I'm gonna have to be really careful on because when I get to my racks got that lovely close pale feet, so I'm gonna have to be real careful. Coblites, not so much. Coblites I can turn loose on. And that one's nice. And these guys are still due for like, I still got to finish some of the tabards and stuff like that, the skin, and some of them I'll probably actually do like the skin effect, and then other ones I'll do just like red, just like a red tabard. But if anyone's in chat, again, it's an AMA, go ahead, ask me anything, or tell me what you're working on. What project do you have on your end that you've been working on, that you're looking to get done? Maybe you have a tournament coming up. Let me know. Let's just get all this. It's going to be difficult too, because I have a feeling that I'm going to get to the end of this, and just with my current setup here out in my living room, eventually I'm going to realize that I missed some spots, but that's fine. It's all part of the process, right? All part of the process. And with my wet palette, I should at least have enough here to help spread this around. And I shouldn't run out. If I run out of Griffound Orange, I'm actually just going to be a little sad, because I don't use it very often, and I feel like I should have more than enough to cover all the odds and ends. And then after this, I've got to get all the metallics and do all that as well. Just going to take my time. Well, kind of take my time. There's a pretty good chance that once I get towards the tail end of this, I'm going to immediately lose it and just start just slapping this stuff all over the place. There we go. Oh, why did I give him the backpack? Oh, I must have built him wrong. That's fine, though. I actually really do like a lot of Drukhari models. I think some people were hoping that the Kabalites would get an upgrade, but honestly, I think the Kabalites actually still look pretty good. Did I miss a guy right here? Oh, no. His eyes are just really subtle. Okay. Oof. Oofta. Thought I missed one. No, getting a little too thin. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. Pop off in the chat there. It's kind of important for me to make sure that this is flowing really nicely because I need it to kind of create its own contrast as it's going along there. I mean, if it gets around the base rim, it's not a huge deal because obviously that'll be painted black later, but right now I just want to make sure that there's some nice dynamics to the base. So again, for anybody who hasn't seen what I'm doing, I'm just painting that orange on those bases. So in that way, you know, I got my nice dark blue armor, and then I got that nice orange base to pop. Wanted to add some nice contrast to it. So just paint along here. Get all this covered. It's gonna be a while, so I figured I'd just go live for a little bit and just talk it out while I get all this orange all over these guys, because then I also got to get some tufts on this. So that's also for later me. It's probably actually a good thing I did some of this before I finished these tabards, because something tells me then this way it'll keep me from, you know, letting my paint spill onto the base there. There we go. There we go. 1 unit of 10 Kabalites down. Technically 9. I've actually got to rebase one of them because I tried to do it in like a similar blue to kind of like create the whole like, oh, it's nighttime effect, and it did not work. So some of them I'm gonna have to go back through and rebase. I do like the like basic sand look. There's more to it, but I wanted to do something a bit more interesting than that just inherently. So orange it is. Don't know why I'm pointing my toes. There we go. Hook up the arc on. Yeah, that should be painted. That should be based different. So let's go ahead. Let's move out. Next group right here in front of me. It's next unit Cobblites. Whoa. Where's the blaster? There's the blaster. Swap this around. Just got to get around the feet, near the tabards. Make sure I get it to water down, but not water down too much, because I really like it when it's a darker orange on the bases. But for anybody who's just tuned in, again, this is a fun little live AMA. So feel free to pop off in the chat and ask me anything. Favorite movie that I've seen recently, color, favorite paint brand, model, whatever. Sometimes it feels like being live or doing one of these is like bird watching or just like any sort of nature watching, because you got your binoculars, you peek up and you see somebody's there, and then you're just like, oh, don't want to scare them, and then but you want them to like engage, so you're just like, hey, little fella, you can ask a question. Just it's an ask me anything. Come on, you can do it. And then you just look like John, the guy from Jurassic Park, and come on, push, push, and then they leave and they run off, and that's fine. That's fair. There we go. Another batch down. Heavy weapons coming out in droves. Just need to get through these Cobblites. These Cobblites actually should be the easiest part of all this, which is going to be great. And then Raiders are going to be easy. Ravagers are going to be easy. It's just going to be a lot more space. One day I'll get a proper setup to actually do a proper live stream, but this was kind of impromptu. Since I didn't have a video for today, I had worked since Sunday night to Tuesday night straight, and then I just was working late and later and later, and probably clocked in 55, 60 hours at my job, and I really just did not have the time for editing up a video, unfortunately. So today, we just paint some bases. Just get near these feet. It's always when they're in that weird squatted position that's extra goofy. It's that dynamic elf pose. Let's get that. That's fine. That'll be fine. Just going to keep going here. Keep working on these guys, getting their base nice and orange. But just popped in. Feel free to ask me anything. AMA. Let it fly. Nope. What was that? That's weird. Something just popped on the bottom of the screen, then right away left. Just painting all these bases, and then once I get all these done, eventually it'll be tufts. And then once we get through tufts, then we can paint some metallics. I've been kind of holding off on... I did all the bronze metallics because that was a new experiment for me for my Drukhari, as I was trying to find, you know, the right kind of bronze color for that, and I finally found it in dark bronze by Monument. So just been doing that. Cabalite. Cabalite down. I still remember I did this guy for one of my videos. This happy little guy here. He's actually one of my earliest videos that I actually did on how to paint Drukhari the way that I did him, and I had a lot of fun painting him. He's actually wait, is it this guy? No, it's not this guy. It's the same model, but with a power sword, and he's way over there somewhere because I actually need to finish stuff with him. So I need to rebase him. So, but that's one that I was actually really proud of, and my buddy caught me with a really bad joke in there, a really good Silence of the Lambs joke. Great engagement right at the beginning, and then I'll just bugger it off. More of those. Nice little trick. Actually, no, I need to move this over here. So fun little trick with the contrast. I always like to show people this because this is something that probably most people don't know or don't do. Actually, you know what? Here, let me make sure. There we go. All messages. So that was blocked. So if you're ever trying to measure out parts on contrast containers specifically, let me show you this. So you give it a good shake, and then you crack the lid, you fold it over, and you let it drop off the lid. And that is, and you can usually get 2 to 3 drops depending, and that is the best way to measure contrast, is taking this, shaking it, opening the lid, tipping it to the side, and letting it drop down. I know a lot of people who, you know, dip their brush in right away and then they lose a bunch of it or they can't measure it accurately. So if you're ever looking for a good contrast tip, that would be my biggest one, is using that lid top to measure out your parts of contrast. Because usually if someone's like, oh, it's 2 parts contrast, 1 part's this, they're like, well, I don't know how to measure that. That is the best way to do it. So, fun fact. Let's get near these feet, but fortunately I leave these dark, make life infinitely easier on them. Oh, just a spot. There we are. Just more orange everywhere. At some point I'll get a proper live streaming setup where I actually have a camera that actually points at my stuff and everything like that. But this one's nice and just personal, you know. Painting all these chains in the future is going to be a giant pain in the butt. Forgot how many chains these Drukhari just have chilling on them, like Kabalites have them just sitting on their belts and all of that. Shouldn't be like terrible, but it'll be a few little extra. So, but again, this is an AMA. So while I'm working on all this, feel free to drop a question down in the comments, and I will answer it as it rolls on in. Could be favorite movie that I've seen recently. Could be favorite color, model, whatever catches your fancy. So feel free to let me know. There we go. Get that guy. Oh yeah, this is one of the guys that I actually finished much more completely. Because he's got his tabard and everything. Or, you know, just let me know what you're doing in the comments. You know, let me know, is there a project you're working on? You just kind of hanging around this Friday? Where are you chatting from? Let me know. I think this orange is actually going to be this is actually going to pop really nicely on the table. That. Ooh. That could have been really bad if I would have just dropped this model in the contrast. I mean, I could. Don't get me wrong. I could save it really quickly. I have my 2 spare brushes on deck, 2 clean brushes. Always keep them on hand for when you do make a mistake. When you make a mistake, not if you make a mistake, because those are gonna save your bacon one day. I don't know why I just said save your bacon. That's such an old thing to say. I can't say anything though. I am old. I am old. Let's just cover all this. Again, feel free to pop any questions down in the comments below, and I'll answer them as they come in, or just say hi. Let me know where you're from, what you might be working on. Let's just get some more of this. Just got to be really careful with this one, because this one actually does have a finished skin tabard, and I am not trying to repaint any of that. There we go, and sneak that one in there. Voila. Here. So that's what that guy looks like. Working on that orange base. Here's kind of like the generic scheme of them. It's got an agonizer. That is another 10 down. 10 more Kabalites to go. And then I'll go on to my witches. Some of my HQs. I know I got Drozar in here. My incubi. Splinter cannon. Oh, that's right. This one's got the splinter cannon unit. this guy. Let's just knock him out right away because he's got so little base to him because I actually put him on like the Cork Riser, the Tactical Rock. Just get some of that. And get some more right there. There, done. Easy peasy. That can been dead. I need to stop dropping these. That would be a great idea if I did not drop them in my contrast. At some point too, I'll probably need to dry brush some of these to make them pop a little bit more. Just adjust some of that. There. Done. Next one. Yeah, I probably could use a little bit more contrast there. And of course a little bit more water. All right, get a little bit more. I've just been doing it 3 drops at a time because I don't want to just flood my palette and then have it flow off to nowhere. Did anybody see the new Fallout Season 2 trailer? I'm really stoked about that. Missed a spot. And missed a spot. There we are. Gotta be careful though. Don't want the boots just turning orange. Maybe I'll try that here in a hot second. There we go. It's kind of tricky because some areas I kind of want to do like a brighter orange, like a raised area or something, but other times I just want to just do the generic one. Make sure I'm not missing. Oop. This is why I do a double check. Make sure you get all the areas. There we are. Plenty more cab lights to go. Well, not plenty more. 6 more? 6 more cab lights, and then I'm squared up with those, and then I will move on to my witch units. Well, actually just my witches. I'll probably just start with them. And then I got Hellions over here, which I did base Actually, you know what? That's a good question. Basing a flight stand, is that do you like that? Is that a good idea, or do you think it's kind of like a sin? You know, like a miniature wargaming sin, because the whole point being the flight stand is supposed to like simulate, oh, it can go onto any battlefield and they're flying over it. But I also magnetized mine, so I was kind of like, well, I could like then it's just like pitch black from the bottom side of the magnet, and I was like, well, that looks kind of boring. Like, actually, it's kind of cool to like give it, a base that matches the rest of my army. Oh, go. There you go. Another cobblite down. And again, AMA. Feel free to ask me anything. Have you seen, or have you seen the new Fallout Season 2 trailer? Are you excited about that? Is there something else coming out that you're really excited about? Doesn't have to be Warhammer. It can be just about anything. Down to hang. Oh. A few spots where it does not like to settle, doesn't like to go in there. There we go. Ooh. Turning orange. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Feel free to pop a question in, or just tell me where you're tuning in from. Love to find out where people are coming from. There we go. Oh, one more normal. And I got my two heavy weapons. I still got to paint a lot of the tabards on these guys. Finish those up. I did a fair number of them skin colored, or like some kind of skin variation, but there's also a decent amount of them that I was just like, well, I'm just going to paint it red because that's the other accent color that I have for my scheme. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, he fell in. Is he actually okay? He might be fine. What the? That was lucky. That was extremely lucky. He fell right into the contrast. Oh, wait, no, I see it now. I see it now. Hold on. Hold the phone. Get this really quickly. There you go. He did fall into the contrast. Just quick rinse that off. Just the edge of his shoulder pad, so nothing too bad. Oh, I missed a spot. I missed a spot. That's why we double check, kids. That's why we double check. Oh, let's get more contrast. 1, 2, 3. Anybody see the new Fallout trailer for Season 2? I'm very, very excited for that. Not a huge Fallout fan. Like, I do really enjoy Fallout, and I played I probably played Fallout 3 the most, but I really did, and I did love New Vegas. I always forget that Matthew Perry was in that game. That's insane. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited for season 2. That show actually surprised me. I really did not have high hopes for it, and then it did a really good job. And Walton Goggins is an absolute boss. I always loved Walton Goggins even before Fallout. I actually loved him originally from Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy was one of my early ones. I know some people loved him in Justified, but I never really got into Justified, but I got into Sons of Anarchy, and him as Venus was incredible. But I think he's an underrated actor. I think he's like one of those ones that kind of like just sneaks by. Because if I recall correctly, he's also in Hateful Eight. Is he in Hateful Eight? I think he is, because I know he's in Django. He's in Django for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure Walton Goggins is in Hateful Eight. If someone remembers or is, you know, near the Google machine, feel free to throw that in there, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure. Boom. 30 Cabalites. Done. Orange. They are now orange based. And my finger is turning nice and orange with it. Now on to the witches. Eat. So fiddly. Get all of my gladiatorial weapons over here. Let's get Lilith. You know what? Let's get old Big Hair herself, the Queen of Knives. Let's just knock out her base. I'm pretty convinced that I am going to paint a striking scorpion as like the dead Eldari on the base, because I think that that would look sick. Also, like the striking green contrast to like the orange. I think that'll be super cool to do that. Let's get some of that. I still need to paint up some of the details on, especially on her base, because she's got, you know, the fun tactical leaping Eldari rock, but all this. There. There. Lilith. Now based in our orange world. Oh. Well, crap. Just got a little too much on the boot there. There we go. Quick fix. Kind of wish I had a camera so you guys could see what I was actually working on. But that's for later TT, because I'm still working on it. I got a new setup at my desk that should allow me a little bit more flexibility. I just got to make sure that I get the right camera for it and that I can mount it somewhere, because I got a new lighting system and everything too. So it's gonna have some some tricks to it, for sure. I think witches are going to be the best ones for these because they literally just have one contact point. So you just run the brush all over the rest of it. Just all over the place. And then it's just done. Nope. It's on the front part of the boot. There we go. Got it. Let's put Lilith over there actually so we don't accidentally mess her up with any of that. Here, I'll bring these up higher so you can at least see my focus face, you know, when I'm just really locked in on what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, so far the witches are my favorite to base because they literally just have the one contact point and then you can just spread it all over the place. Infinitely easier. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Witches, gladiatorial weapons done. Ugh. I wonder if my background sucks. Maybe we'll change some lighting back there because obviously the sun's coming in, so I'll try and keep my head as still as possible for a lot of this. Oh, I need more contrast. I feel a little sad that there's a decent chance that this wet palette sheet is literally just going to be used for this contrast and that's it. There we go. One. Poof. Too thin. There we go. Much, much better. Today might be a 2 caffeine day. Just because I actually got stuff that should help me not go too crazy. Buh. Next time that prompt thing pops up on the bottom, I'm just going to do that. Another witch. Nope. There we go. Can't miss it. You know what I'm kind of curious about? I'm kind of curious why for like live streams, especially like it's difficult to like just listen to music. You know what I mean? Like like I understand that like oh well this person's music is being used blah 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 and it's like but it's also not necessarily like you're not profiting off the music, right? Like me listening to August Burns Red or like Parkway Drive, I'm not inherently profiting off of that. If anything, I'm just sharing it or, you know, like having it in the background of something, like making it a part of something. I guess like if you do make money on it, like their whole point is like, ah, well, we should be making, but like it's also they're not, you know, they're not the reason that's making money, right? Like they could like be a contributing factor. Like maybe someone like tunes in, they're like, oh, I love Parkway Drive. I'm gonna gift a membership or something like that. Like I get the idea of that, but to have all these record labels like running around and just like hitting people with copyright strikes all over YouTube, just like nonsensically, like it just kind of annoys me and it's kind of sad because I would love to be able to like you know do something like this where I can like listen to my music and not have to worry about it getting copyright strike. Not that I'm making money on it or anything, but be nice to share that. It's nice that I'm able to share that on Instagram reels and stuff like that where I can attach a song to it to like convey a feeling or um, something like that. I think that part of that is great for at least on the Instagram half being able to share that. There we go. All right, Drazar, time for your base, Mr. Master, Mr. Blades. Might have to mess around with his stuff a little bit too. Because he's got his own little tactical rock. That's a little bit of that. This thing just has so many like nooks and crannies all over it. I remember putting the basing in. It was kind of a big pain in the butt, but scoop up more of this. Let's see if we can actually finish Drazar's base without having to tap into another helping of Gryph-hound. Looks like it, but just barely. Yep. Just barely. Just barely. There. Mr. Zara just got. Oh, nope. As soon as I set him down. It's the moment you set him down, folks. It's the moment you find you missed a bloody spot. There we are. Dunskies. He's all looking sharpish now. He's got a big orange base, so I gotta finish a few more details on him. But all right, we're gonna adjust the lighting here because I have a feeling that might be playing a factor into this. Oh my god, can I not rotate this out? This is... Oh, this is all attached. Hold on. Loop all the way around. There we go. Hopefully that helps the lighting a little bit. Not terrible. There. Bring it in. Alright. Incubi. Time. Grab all these. There we go. I think after this I don't do the, or maybe I do the racks. Yeah, it's probably worth it to do the racks and to just go from there. Yeah, we'll just do that. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Which one? Ah, there we go. There's my brush. Onto the incubi. Oh, geez. Almost lost him. Looks like I missed doing this guy's clave. Because I can see there's a spot where usually I do the bronze. And then doing all that. At the risk of somebody popping in long enough to see this, as an AMA while I'm working on my Drukhari basing, feel free to pop in, ask a question. I do this on Instagram, but I don't have 1,000 followers. So if you want to help me get to 1,000 followers on Instagram, feel free to pop in and help me do that, because if I could get to 1,000 followers on Instagram, that would be spectacular. I got it here. Very surprisingly, I'm very happy that I did. But it would be great to get to it on Instagram so I can do some live Q&As on there as well, because I feel like that's a little bit more mobile friendly. I could be wrong, but I find that it would probably be easier for people to interact on there than it is on YouTube mobile, because like I pull up YouTube mobile a fair amount, and I don't think it's quite as user friendly. Like, especially when it comes to like you're wanting to respond to somebody in a live chat, you can do the @ but like the @ doesn't work because X, Y, or Z, and it's a big old pain. Makes it infinitely more annoying. Let's just get under here. There we go. Oh, jeez. Well, I just touched the base directly. Did I mess it up? Nope. Perfect. Pop that back there. Let's just wipe that off there. There we go. I have to wash my hands after this. Oh, yeah, let's get the Clavex. Let's get these done. It's kind of weird to say, but I feel like getting texture or getting like basing material like on like Eldari or Drukhari feet doesn't feel right. You know, like when you see horse heresy miniatures, they've got like dust all over them, or like the pigment powders and stuff like that. I feel like doing that for Eldari or doing that for Drukhari doesn't make sense. You know, they're elves. They're very precise. You know what I mean? They do their fancy flips. They're light-footed. You would think that, you know, they just wouldn't, they're so light-footed that they wouldn't get anything on their feet. Get some more over here. Tell you what, it's not going to win Best Painted, but it's okay with me. There we go. Another batch over there. In case anyone pops in while I'm listening to this, any music suggestions? I'm always looking for good new music. If anyone follows my channel or follows my Instagram, knows a little bit of what I like, but I think got a pretty eclectic taste. So I'm always down for some new music suggestions. So feel free to drop those down in the chat. While I'm knocking out all these incubi. There we go. Get some of that. It's getting dark already so soon. Man, daylight savings up north is rough. And by up north, I just mean Minnesota, where I'm from. Gets so dark. It's friggin' 3:19. It's 3:19 right now. And looking outside, it looks like it's 6 o'clock. It is ridiculous. Come on. 2. There, we're just getting 2. All right. Let's see if we can add something. Yeah. Actually, whoa. Done. Can I delete this? There we go. Get rid of that. Oh, what? I don't know what that is. There we go. Let's just get rid of that. There we go. Let's add that pole. Just gonna put it up there on my forehead. Maybe one day I should do a stream where I just like don't talk at all. Like it's dead silent. That would be crazy. There we go. This is one of the ones that I need to finish the armor on. So he's going on the far side. I'll get some of that there. Gotta watch near the edges, especially near the feet. Make sure I don't miss anything. Also make sure I don't drop this in here. Go. One more incubi left, and then it's Rexty. Just a touch of water to get some last life out of it and to not drop it. Good God. There you go. Incubi done. Rack attack time. This one I'm gonna need to be a lot more careful on, since these lads have tiny sandals. I feel like I shouldn't do the succubuses quite yet, but we'll debate that when we get there. I feel like this poll is actually kind of like making it worse, so we'll just end that there. Yeah, it looks like the pull helped getting out of there. What's this? Yeah, let's try that. All right, let's get the homunculus. Nothing too crazy here. Easy peasy. So he's got the tactical rock. I'll just put a little bit of that on some of the spots where I spilled. Boom. Homunculus. Actually, I just realized that there's a little bit of that right there. There we go. Homunculus. Oh, we'll stay live for a little bit longer, and then we'll call it a day. Hope I just get like one question. Appreciate people still popping in and stuff like that, but would love a question in there somewhere. I think the racks won't be too bad here. It's just the spots under the robe here where it gets a little bit on the tight side, but nothing too egregious. Go. Rack 1. At some point I also got to paint all the chemicals and like the combat drugs on these racks and everything. But I think I got a decent recipe for that, so that actually shouldn't be hopefully too bad. It's just gonna be like that extra little tidbit of time that like I'm gonna need to like section off just to make sure I get it all. Oh, dead feet. Scary feet, scary feet, scary feet, scary feet. If you see this video in the future, feel free to let me know. Should I do more live videos in the future? Like, I know I'm planning on it and I really, really want to. I just need to figure out like a decent enough setup, but I also should probably just like commit to it and figure it out so that I can start doing it more regularly. Not sure what it will look like, but probably would be a good idea. Shoot. Shoot. There we go. That's the spot. The racks were very interesting. Teachable moment. This is 2 different weapons. Flamer, flamer. There we go. Nope. Still nobody. I'm all alone. Just bursting us on. Where's my time at? What are we at? Oh, 1 hour and 16. We'll give it. We have another little tidbit here. No one wants to AMA, then we'll GTF OA out of here. I don't know where I was going at with that. That was embarrassing. I figure out what I'm going to do with these weapons too, because I don't really know like how to accent them at all, or well, I think I got like a few ideas for like the metallics, but they really don't have like a ton of metallics to them. And at the end of the day, they're still like Eldari weapons, so there's like not a ton going on with them. Maybe once I finish up these racks, we'll call it a stream. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall. Don't drop it. There you go. Quick save. Little spot right there. There we go. Almost done with the racks. So we've completed 30 Cabalites, 10 Witches, 10 Incubi, all the HQs for that. So Lady Malice, Archon, Lilith, and Homunculus. I almost just talked to myself out loud, and I caught myself. I started it. I'm sure that's going to be a fun moment in the future. There we go. That's racks. All right. Well, I'm going to finish up the rest of these off camera. Anyone who popped in, appreciate it. Anyone who eventually checked this in the future, leave a comment. Let me know. And hopefully in the future I do some more of this and I can do it better. So, until next time, I've been Tattooed Tabletop.